This is about a group of people based on a book, a group of people in a retirement community who get down to the business.
Pierce Brosnan's story is one of grace under fire, a journey marked by love, loss, and resilience. Known to the world as the suave and unshakable James's Bond, behind the glamour lies a man shaped by loneliness and heartbreak. His rise from an abandoned boy in Ireland to one of Hollywood's most beloved icons wasn't fueled by luck, but by faith and survival. Through grief, poverty, and reinvention, Brosnan built a life out of chaos. Yet even as he faced unimaginable loss, he held on to one thing: hope. Early years of loneliness and resilience. Pierce Brosnan was born in 1953 in Drogheda, Ireland, into a life of uncertainty. His father left when he was just an infant, leaving his mother, May, to raise him alone. When she moved to London for work as a nurse, 4-year-old Pierce was left behind, shuffled between relatives for years. Each new home meant new faces and no real stability. This isolation carved quiet strength in him. He learned early that the world owed him nothing, and survival depended on silence and observation. Teachers saw a distant boy, bright but withdrawn. What they couldn't see was the young dreamer, trying to find belonging in a world that felt temporary at every turn. A new beginning in Scotland. At 11, life shifted when Pierce reunited with his mother and her new husband, William Carmichael, in Scotland. William was kind and patient, offering a stability Pierce had never known. But it was a strange balance of joy and resentment. After years of being alone, seeing his mother with someone new was hard. Still, William treated him with love, teaching him small things like fishing, fixing, and faith in others. Then came the day that changed everything. William took Pierce to see Goldfinger. Watching Sean Connery as James Bond, Pierce saw everything he wasn't: confident, powerful, fearless. In that dark theater, a dream was born. He wanted to be that man, not just the spy, but someone in control of his destiny. From art to acting, the unexpected path. Pierce's first dream wasn't to act, it was to paint. At 16, he left school and enrolled at St. Martin's School of Art in London. He studied illustration, admired painters like Lucian Freud, and lived on toast and tea. But fate intervened. One day, in 1971, he wandered into a theater workshop and met a fire eater. Curiosity pulled him in, and something clicked. Acting offered him what painting couldn't: transformation. Soon, he joined the Drama Centre London, where he trained rigorously for 3 years. It was brutal, emotional, and expensive. But Pierce endured. He wasn't just learning to act. He was learning to rebuild himself. Every role became a new identity, a way to fill the gaps left by a fractured childhood. Rising through the ranks. By the late 1970s, Pierce was clawing his way into the industry. He started with theater, small plays, minor roles, and gradually caught attention for his intensity and elegance. His early film appearances were blink and you'll miss it moments, like in The Mirror, Cracked with Elizabeth Taylor, and The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins. But even then, there was something magnetic about him. In 1982, NBC cast him in Remington Steele, not as the con man he auditioned for, but as the lead. At just 29, the young Irishman became a global sensation. The series was witty, stylish, and romantic. Everything people wanted in the 80s. Overnight, Brosnan became a household name, a modern gentleman who could charm anyone. It was the beginning of his American dream, and the start of whispers that he might someday be James's Bond. the bond that almost was. As Remington Steele soared, so did the rumors. Brosnan's poise, accent, and charm made him an obvious choice for Bond. Even the original producer, Albert Cubby Broccoli, took notice. In 1984, Ian Fleming's widow said Brosnan looked exactly like her late husband's vision of 007. But when Remington Steele was canceled, NBC reversed its decision just as Pierce was about to sign for Bond. The renewal locked him out of the role. Instead, Timothy Dalton became 007. Brosnan smiled through the disappointment, but it cut deep. He had been so close, only to lose it all to timing and contracts. Yet he didn't give up. He used that pain to sharpen his craft, taking darker, more serious roles in The Fourth Protocol and Nomads, proving he wasn't just a TV heartthrob. He was a real actor. Love, loss, and a promise. While building his career, Pierce found love with Australian actress Cassandra Harris. She was elegant, confident, and already connected to the Bond world, having starred in For Your Eyes Only. They married in 1980, and Pierce adopted her 2 children, Charlotte and Christopher, after their father's death. Together they had a son, Sean. It was the family Pierce had always dreamed of. Loving, close, whole. But tragedy struck in 1987 when Cassandra was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. For 4 years, Pierce stayed by her side, watching the woman he loved fight for her life. She faced the illness with extraordinary grace. On December 28, 1991, Cassandra died at just 43. Before passing, she told him, "It's just a life winding down." That loss broke Pierce, but also defined him. Her strength became his compass, the reason he never let despair win. Becoming James Bond. In 1994, destiny circled back. Pierce Brosnan was finally cast as James's Bond in GoldenEye. For him, it wasn't just a role. It was a tribute to Cassandra, who had always believed he was born for it. The stakes were high. The franchise was faltering. Mom was near bankruptcy, and Bond's future was uncertain. But GoldenEye changed everything, grossing over $350 million worldwide. Pierce brought a perfect balance of charm, danger, and humanity to Bond. He wasn't just playing a spy. He was channeling years of loss, strength, and survival. Over the next decade, he redefined the character through Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Underneath the tuxedo, there was always a hint of melancholy. A man who knew what it meant to lose everything and still carry on. Tragedy returns and heartbreak deepens. Even as the world celebrated him, tragedy followed Pierce. In 2013, his adopted daughter Charlotte, Cassandra's daughter, died of the same disease that took her mother. She was only 41. The loss reopened old wounds. He had raised Charlotte as his own, and now history was cruelly repeating itself. Pierce turned once again to faith. A devout Catholic, he said it was prayer that kept him grounded when grief became unbearable. He also found solace in painting, returning to the first passion that had saved him decades ago. Every brushstroke became a conversation with the ones he'd lost. Through art, he found peace. A way to say the words he couldn't speak aloud: the fall and reinvention. After 4 blockbuster films, Brosnan's time as Bond ended abruptly in 2004. A 47-second phone call from producers ended his tenure with no warning. They wanted a younger actor. For Pierce, it felt like betrayal. He had given everything to the franchise, and suddenly it was gone. Depression followed. Studios turned away, His fame had become his cage. He was too bond for other roles. But like every other chapter of his life, he rebuilt. He found love again with journalist Keely Shea Smith, who became his anchor. Together they raised 2 sons and created a peaceful life in Hawaii. Brosnan reinvented himself with films like The Matador, Mamma Mia, and The November Man, proving his charm and talent were timeless. Through it all, he stayed true to his values: love deeply, forgive quickly, and never stop believing. Faith, family, and legacy. At 71, Pierce Brosnan stands as a man who has lived 100 lives: painter, actor, father, widower, survivor. His story isn't just about fame, but about endurance. When asked how he dealt with loss, he said, "Faith. Faith. You know, I'm Irish. I'm Catholic. The church has been a big part of my life." He prays every night, not for success, but for peace. The man who once played the world's toughest spy still faces his own fears: mortality, loneliness, and love that lingers in memory. Yet through it all, he's never stopped believing in the beauty of life. His legacy isn't just as James's Bond, but as proof that even the most broken hearts can keep beating, with faith, grace, and an unbreakable will to live.